And that was one of the most ridiculous videos I've ever seen, by the way. Go watch the whole thing. Joining me now, Texas Congressman and House Oversight Committee member who was part of the Minnesota fraud hearing this week, Congressman Pat Fallon. Congressman, thanks for being with us tonight. All right, so let's start with the fraud piece of this, because that really is the underlying issue, the whole thing. You've been in the hearings. Your job is to figure out how to solve this. Are you guys making any headway on that front?
Well, we are, absolutely, because I mean, think about this, Brian. If Kamala Harris had won the election, you think the Oversight Committee, if it was run by the Democrats, would be looking into this in any serious way at all? No, we need to uncover. We're talking $9 billion of fraud, and I think it's actually much larger. We're going to get into the tens of billions. And if you look out over maybe the span of a decade, it could reach $100 billion just in Minnesota alone, because Tim Walz, his administration, did not care. So what we need to ask him under oath is, what did he know and when did he know it? And we need to keep digging, because I'm going to tell you something about that hearing, and this is kind of exclusive. There were dozens more whistleblowers from Minnesota that contacted the Oversight Committee after that hearing. So this is just really the begin. This is the end of the beginning. We have a long way to go.
I'm sure there's much you can't share. Is there anything you can share from these new whistleblowers, at least directionally, that's going to help you figure out what to do next?
Yeah, it's think about literally a tip of the iceberg. There's so much more, and this was systemic. This was a fraud on an industrial scale, and look, there's fraud going on with Medicaid in all 50 states. The problem is, in the blue states, they don't want to uncover anything. And you can look at that as far as recoverable funds that come in from fraud. It's much higher percentage-wise in the red states than it is the blue states, because they just don't even look at it. In Minnesota alone, it's literally, get this, right, 0.08% of 1% of the overall fraud is recovered.
Gosh. Hey, you've got colleagues talking about defunding ICE. They're the same people that I've seen talking about defunding the police. It's interesting to me because they complain about the chaos in Minneapolis. Of course, if the ICE had more resources, like local law enforcement in sanctuary cities helping them, it might be a little more orderly. Congressman, are they going to shut down the government to try to defund ICE?
Well, if they do that, they're probably going to lose the election in November. We'll see. It's hard to say what. I mean, you said you just had Slawwell on. I call him the California soy boy. You want to talk about a beta male? He was literally sleeping with the enemy, and he has the audacity to try to demonize ICE agents who are merely enforcing the laws that, by the way, we write in Congress. So if Soy Boy and the other Marxists want to change the laws, then do it in Washington. Don't sit there and pay these agitators to, attack. I mean, the attacks on ICE across the country have skyrocketed. And unfortunately, you get into a situation like this where they're emboldened and they're not protesting, they're agitating, and someone lost their life over it.